So, get this. What happens when a human rights lawyer and a white hat hacker decide to team up? Well, they decide to hack a hackathon, but not for profit. They wanted to do it for world peace. Today, we are diving deep into a really radical venture that all started with one simple but, incredibly profound question.
Right there. That was the core challenge that kicked this whole thing off. The goal wasn't just to build another app. No, it was to take that very human impulse, that desire we all have to test our own limits, and transform it into something that could actually help us find balance and, inner peace. I mean, that's a pretty wild starting point for a tech company, isn't it?
Okay, so let's dive into how this all began. We're talking about two really unlikely partners who decided to just flip the entire purpose of a hackathon completely on its head.
And here they are. Seriously, you couldn't write a more fascinating founding duo. On one side, you've got a retired international human rights lawyer, someone who spent their entire career navigating really complex global conflicts. And on the other, a retired white hat hacker who spent years navigating the hidden digital corridors of the internet. The big question is, what on earth could these two possibly build together?
This right here shows you just how crystal clear their mission was from the start. They looked at the typical tech model, which, let's be honest, often makes money from risk or danger, and they just did a complete 180. Their new goal? To build a business model that could actually profit from peace. It's a fundamental shift in thinking, and it really is the foundation for everything else they do.
But, before you can build a solution, you have to really understand the problem. And for them, the problem was deep-rooted in our modern ideas about profit and even money itself.
This quote, wow, it really gets to the heart of their whole critique. They're looking at a global financial system that's creating trillions of dollars in, theoretical digital wealth, but it's not actually solving real-world problems like scarcity. It's a powerful thought, right? Are we just endlessly slicing up the same small pie into smaller and smaller digital bits and losing what's actually valuable along the way?
And this is where things get really mind-bending. They came up with this radical redefinition of money. They see it as a symptom of a breakdown in trust, basically an insurance policy we all have to pay because we can't communicate with each other with pure intention. This completely reframes the entire problem they're trying to solve.
So, you've identified this absolutely massive problem. How do you even begin to build a solution for it? Well, they developed their own unique 5-phase process, and they called it Today's Ultimate Solutions, or TUS for short.
Let's break down this formula. It starts off pretty logically, right? First, prove your idea in theory. Okay, makes sense. Then prove it with actual science. Next, you gotta perfect it so it's efficient. Step 4 is obviously crucial for any business. You have to make it profitable. But it's step 5 that really sets them apart. Make it fun and honorable. Because they realize that if something is fun and has a sense of honor to it, well, that's just irresistible.
This is the big turning point. They've got their philosophy, they've got their formula for building something new. So the question becomes, what's the most direct, practical way to get to their goal? What's the actual product they can build that combines all these grand ideas into a tangible, ready-to-launch business?
And this is exactly where that abstract philosophy becomes a real-world product, designed to launch, scale, and tap into a huge market. They call it Club TUS. The answer? That path of least resistance they were looking for? It was surprisingly straightforward, a travel portal.
But obviously not just any travel portal. This one was going to focus on a really lucrative niche market, connecting people with extreme places all around the globe,
Where they can go and do extreme things. So they decided to tap into the already existing multi-billion-dollar market for adventure travel and these kinds of limit testing experiences.
And just like that, Club TUS was born. It stands for Today's Ultimate Sporting Experience. This is it. Their ready-to-launch app and website designed from the ground up to tap into and even expand the entire extreme sports travel industry.
Okay, so let's pop the hood and look at the technology, because this is how it all becomes so much more than just another booking website. This is the powerful AI engine that makes the whole thing run.
First up in their ecosystem is something called Club Chill. See, this isn't just about the trip itself. It's about holistic wellness. It's an app for meal prep and shopping that sources local ingredients and uses Dr. Michael Greger's famous Daily Dozen formula, all to guarantee peak nutrition for people about to push their limits.
And then you have the brains of the whole operation, GENI. It stands for Generative Intentional Intelligence. In a world where we have way too many choices, GENI is designed to do one thing and do it perfectly. simplify. It cuts through all the noise to find only the absolute best of the best for its users. So how does it actually do that? Well, Gemini filters out what they call garbage information. It applies a strict do-no-harm principle, and it actively removes what they call weapons of mass detraction. All the noise and distractions that just cause decision fatigue. The whole point is to give you, the user, true free will by only showing you meaningful, high-quality options.
And powering the long-term vision behind all of this is ARQ18, which stands for Always Ready Quantum Intelligence. Now, this is the really high-level system that's designed to ensure infinite returns, and not just financially, but on their ultimate mission of creating world peace.
So the big question, right? How does all of this, a travel app, extreme sports, AI, quantum intelligence, how does it all circle back to that original, incredibly audacious goal?
Here it is. This is their core philosophy in a single sentence. By helping people push themselves to their physical and mental extremes, they believe they can help them find a middle path, that point of balance and perspective that reunites them with themselves and with other people. It's about using the extremity of an experience to find your center.
And this isn't just some abstract, theoretical idea for them. They actually have a world peace ambassador who embodies this entire mission. This quote just grounds the whole high-tech venture in a deeply human goal, proving that a genuine connection can go beyond language and culture, heart to heart.
And that leaves us with this final thought. We've just walked through the evolution from a philosophical question all the way to a ready-to-launch company. So, can a business that's built on pushing physical and mental extremes, can it truly become a vehicle for finding inner balance and maybe, just maybe, creating a little more world peace? It's a pretty fascinating question to think about.